Right. Thank you very much for creating the Northern Baraza. I had just come in to listen, and out of politeness, I accepted the invitation. All protocol observed. There's so many different, there's council, there's honorable, there are all sorts of people. And special greetings and shout out to Honorable Betty Awara-chan, who is my senior, one of the people who mentored us in FDC Women's League. And that's the party which I associate myself with, although I'm also very closely related to Katonga, which is in the process of finding legitimate organizing. I have sat through a lot of the discussions, and I think for me, just to say quickly, it's wonderful to see people discussing together in spite of your different political party affiliations, in spite of your different professions, that people in northern Uganda are coming together and having these very difficult conversations. It's not ordinary, it's not usual. And so the person who talked about Kizza Besigye being a symbol beyond his personal indignities and suffering he's undergoing right now, he also symbolizes many aspirations we have as Ugandans for ourselves, what we would want to happen to us if we were in similar situations, the sort of organizing we'd want to be made on our behalf, the sort of voice and articulation we'd want to have on our behalf. I am a partisan person. I belong to a political party, so I will not speak like the professionals. I want to address the lawyer who said that Kizza Besigye may have a crime. Perhaps he does, but it is totally unconstitutional. It's criminal for the Ugandan military to walk into another country, abduct a man, pack him into a car, abuse immigration systems, forcefully return him to Uganda, bundle him into military tribunal, and then convict his lawyer for contempt of court, and then after a judicial decision is made, totally declaring it's unconstitutional to continue military trial of civilians, and then have 2 weeks elapse, and we still see Dr. Kizza Besigye and a number of political prisoners, young men from Karamoja, the Karachuna, and several others who we don't know because we may not know their affiliations. They're still languishing in prison on the orders of that kangaroo military tribunal. Now there are processes, administrative, what, but a lot of them is just politics and politicking. So if there are indeed charges against Dr. Kizza Besigye, there is due process. We have a constitution, we have systems that were totally violated by the military. And I want to talk against this militarization of Uganda. The military must have its place to defend Uganda from security risks that especially come from outside. But that if we normalize the militarization of even our justice processes, we run a risk of being in the place that Kizza Besigye was. So yes, I heard you, you're from NRM, and you must be an NRM defender as you're also being a professional. My sister, let us demilitarize justice, because that militarization of justice as we head towards 2026 will come to your door and bite you too, whether you're NRM or not. I think the last sort of comment I wanted to make was around the call that I had a number of people making for the northern part of Uganda to come together and take action. I know it's way past time and I could talk on and on and on, but my appeal is that people see the humanity in another human being. You don't have to like Dr. Kizza Besigye, you don't have to appreciate his circumstances, but a man is sick. And we heard about the metaphor of the ambulance. There's an emergency, it is critical. And we also heard about the right to protest even in prison, okay? But there's an emergency and there is due process. As we wait for Isingiza, Justice Douglas, to make his decision, I think for me the push and pressure from everyday Ugandans all over Uganda will be appreciated just a bit more. Please participate in whichever way you can. If you're in parliament, do your job. We're seeing you. If you're on the roads, if you're in the villages, if you're on a Twitter space, if you're at your place of work, just raise the consciousness about the dire emergency. And maybe if all of us put our voices together, our thoughts together, we will be able to intervene and increase the pressure on behalf of a citizen who is almost 70, and you don't have to like him to appreciate the seriousness and the gravity of the issue. Lawyers and judges will play their gymnastics, but as people, can we also play our part? So I want to thank you very much, Northern Baraza. Have a good night. For me, I will continue praying because I'm in a faraway place. I come to spaces that are talking about Kizza Besigye because for me, I want to sit with people who see the dire crisis that he was talking about to us before he was abducted. He's told us, Kizza Besigye has told us, Uganda is at a point of crisis everywhere. And so I'm sitting in fellowship with anyone who is realizing the crisis, in plural, that Kizza Besigye's continued detention represent. And so I came to the space not really as a participant, but courage, Ugandans, courage. It's going to get worse before it gets better. We have seen the abductions that are happening in NUP. We are going to see much more if we don't rise up as Ugandans and put a stop to this, challenge it. If you can't do anything else, speak out. Have a good night.